So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 stages here. Beginning. I believe it is all given in the present simple. Given here is the process diagram. Begins at conception. So mostly present tense is used. Passive voice is used. You know what I mean by passive voice, right? Frogs are born from eggs. The eggs are laid by the mother. So this is passive voice here. The process can be broken into. But here we're using the active voice when the infant frog leaves the egg. They live. Passive voice. This is known as, such as. We also use a lot of infinitives. Use of infinitives, such as the tadpole starts to grow legs. When the legs grow to reach a certain size. The frog is compelled to want to leave. A young frog can be distinguished. Yeah. I have to agree with you that this is a very complex type of writing to do. But let's give it over to you and you can have a try. Well, let's just call out some words, okay? We'll just call out the words so we can see, like, just brainstorm. Brainstorming, okay? Pencil production, right? There are 4 layers, right? Let me get my laser here. This is layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, right? So layer 1 is what? What is layer 1 talking about? We could say raw material. What is the raw material needed for pencils?
The tree.
Yeah, trees, wood. So this diagram actually.
The process of planting trees.
Yes. And they don't need to be older than 14 years, right?
Yeah.
So process of planting young trees to produce soft wood. Saplings are cultivated after reaching a certain size. They are replanted in the fields. After 3 years, the weaker trees are thinned, allowing the stronger trees to take up more space to grow. Young trees are cut down or harvested after only 14 years. Okay, layer 2. What's taking place here? There's 2 processes happening here. The wood the cut wood, the cut trees are put into a saw machine that the wood is cut into thin slats. The slats are chemically treated for a period of 60 days to make the wood suitable for pencil production. So layer one, or stage one, is harvesting wood as a raw material. Layer two, or stage two, is stage two, preparing the wood by cutting and treating it. So the wood has to sit for 60 days before it's ready to go into production. Layer three, stage three. What can you tell me about layer three? Try to use your imagination. When you see a pencil, right? The pencil is shaped like a hexagon. Sometimes it's a circle, sometimes it's a hexagon. And in the center, there is a piece of graphite or lead, right? In the past, it was lead. Now it's graphite. But there's a kind of black mineral in the middle of the pencil, right? How do you think that they get that mineral into the pencil?
I think the layer three is to shape the pencil.
Well, as we can see here, it's two slats pasted on each other like a sandwich.
Mm.
So what they need to do is they need to carve. They need to carve. Page three. Grooves are carved into the slat for, see, you can see the word groove there, right? The black lead to be glued into. The sandwiched slats are placed in a press machine and given heat for treatment and then cut into individual pencils. Layer four,
Package.
stage four. Yes, good. Pencils are packaged into boxes to be sold. Doing this in under 20 minutes is tricky, but to put this into a paragraph, given here is a process diagram illustrating stages of pencil production. From the diagram, we can see that the stages of production, this process, remember, we don't want to be repetitive. This process can be roughly divided into four distinct stages. Paragraph one. The first stage of production involves, okay, young trees are preferred because its wood is soft
Soft.
and easier to process. Okay, that's the first stage. Then, in subsequent stages, the wood is cut into thin slats, which need to be chemically treated for up to 60 days in order to make the wood suitable for use in suitable. After this stage, uh, the wood is put on assembly lines where grooves are cut into the slats, and um, thin lead bars can be glued. They can be cut into pencils, packaged, and shipped out. And that gives us 200 words there. So again, we can see that I'm using the passive voice because we're talking about how the material goes through processes, how the animal goes through processes, how the material goes through processes. I try to look at the diagram in terms of um, under 10 stages, anywhere between 4 and 6 stages, so that I can categorize my essay into 3 paragraphs. My introduction remains the same almost invariably as often as possible because I don't want to spend any time thinking about it, right? I want to spend the time. I had to spend a long time thinking about describing in my mind each of the processes. Now, I am a proponent of taking notes as well and trying to keep the notes not necessarily in sentence form. So there's a skill involved between making bullet point notes, descriptive bullet point notes, and then, following a logical progression. And then once this is done, to uh, put them into correct paragraph form.